No tower can keep us from the kingdom of heaven, huh? I guess that means it's a vertical death plane? Am I understanding that correct? Like, presumably, right? They can still ascend to heaven.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Just double checking. Anyway, we're playing more Crimson Spires.
What do you think happens if they go straight up, but don't cross the boundary?
That's a great question. Is the boundary like yeeting intelligent species that just happen to be in the path of Earth's random orbit through space? Like, just at the point, it like is it go off to infinity, or like is there a top? They say no planes fly over it, so I'm guessing it goes up pretty damn high. The moon goes in front of it. Is it going to get yeeted by accident? Oh, hey, it's Stacy. We haven't met Stacy. Huh?
Whoever that is.
Yeah, do you want me to be our roommate as well?
Oh, welcome home, Erica. Hey, Stacy. I reckon you had an awful day. I heard about Jessica and Gary. People at the dollar store wouldn't stop talking about it. Really? Well, that's good. The more people know, the sooner we'll find something. Did you hear any theories as to where they might be? Well, I tried to pay attention for you, I really did. But, most people prattled on about Jessica and Gary enraging the good Lord or some such. With their, lustfulness, I suppose. Uh-huh. I don't agree with them either. Why would God ever punish two people for loving each other? I mean, as long as it's still natural and all. Man and a woman.
Oh! You got real angry when you started saying that part.
Stacy's comment bothers me, but I'm not sure how to reply. What's natural? Why would any love deserve punishment? Do I smell steak? You sure do. Ross butchered one of his cows just a couple days ago. I got a piece just for you. Figured you might need it on a day like this. I told you, you don't have to cook for me, Stacy. But I really appreciate it. It's no trouble, Erica. You deserve all the help you can get with a job like yours. You just wait right here and I'll go get you a plate. Not poisoned. I don't have the strength to argue, so I gratefully obey. Soon enough, she returns with a delicious hunk of meat with a side of beans and bread. You are a godsend, Stacy. Well, God sends us everything, I figure. Without further ado, I dive into my food. I don't know why I did that instead of eating it, but I'm inside now. And then it hits me. A memory as clear as crystal, flashing in my eyes like the past seeping into the present. I hear a clatter. I must have dropped my fork onto the table. Erica! Erica, are you all right? I take a moment to close my eyes and steady my breath. I'm not all right. When I open my eyes again, my vision ripples with moisture. I'll be fine. I'm just a little out of sorts today. Can I get you anything? Maybe an aspirin or maybe... No, Stacy, you've done enough. Thank you. I force another breath. I feel my muscles trembling. Today was my father's birthday. Oh. He used to cook me steak sometimes. Said it was good for the blood, whatever that's supposed to mean. I kept wondering why he put it directly into his blood, but he never would tell me. Maybe that's why he died. I'm so sorry. If I had known. Please, don't apologize. You've done so much for me, and I'm very grateful. You said your father was a military man, isn't that right? Yes. Tell me about him.
Choice? Why is this a choice? Menacing.
Huh.
Let's tell her more.
Yeah.
His name was Barry. People would describe him as being tough as nails. He got hit by a truck once. The truck lost. Then he stood back up and said his only wound was a stubbed toe. My word! I thought you were supposed to get isekai'd when one of those happened. No. It wasn't in episode 1, so it doesn't work that way. He used to think his heart was as tough as his body. Thought nothing could put a scratch on it, but one day my mother showed up completely without warning. Your mother? Were they divorced? My mother left us when I was 4. She told us she hated moving all the time for Dad's work, but I think what she really hated was me. No mother hates her child. Some mothers kill their children, Stacy.
Because those children can't frig back. It was on the news this morning. A mother in R, she had killed her 3 kids.
Still can't believe you could just do that natural sounding without prompting.
That right there is the work of the devil. Anyway, I didn't see her for most of my life. And then on my 14th birthday, she showed up to give me a present. Told me she missed me and thought of me every day. The whole time she visited, Dad had a blank expression on his face. He hardly spoke a word. Meanwhile, I was so confused. I felt dizzy. One moment I wanted to laugh and jump for joy, and the next I wanted to cry. I thought I must be weak or crazy. That night, I heard something strange in the distance. I found Dad crying in the kitchen and drinking whiskey. When I walked in, we both froze for a minute, and then he motioned me over. He hugged me, and we both cried. Somehow in that moment, I was incredibly happy and sad all at once. Does that sound possible to you? That sounds very possible to me, Erica. I miss him so much. Well, I bet he's out there putting up a fight against those demons. Demons? The demons devouring the rest of the world. The ones we're protected from in here. Woo! Do you really believe that, Stacy? Well, I don't know if I believe in the literal sense, but I don't know if there are monsters prowling around with wings and horns and whatnot, but then again, folks have seen some strange things since the contingency. Silhouettes of monsters roaming beyond the towers. Who's to say what form they've taken? I do believe the devil has taken the earth. That big storm marked his arrival. And those of us here in Bataille are some of the few people saved by God's grace. Zachary was saved for a time. Then God decided it was time for him to move on, so he led my brother through the gates. I know you're not a believer, Erica, but doesn't that thought give you comfort? Do you think maybe God saved us?
Oh, do we tell a comforting lie here, or?
Oh no. I sociopath mode engaged. I feel like getting a better handle on what the church folk believe is going to be useful to us. And because of that, not being confrontational about it will be helpful to us.
I like the way you think. Let's go with that.
I don't know how else to explain it. Maybe you're onto something. You're just saying that to be polite. Well, I hope you'll keep thinking on it one way or another. I should let you finish your meal in peace. Let me know if you need anything, all right? I will. Thank you, Stacy.
Whoop. I like that it's been, 6 months, and they've already come up with a whole new religion, a whole new fucked up religion to do.
Well, it seems like that's come down from on high.
Yeah.
And also, if anything is going to make me find religion, it's suddenly being cut off from the rest of the world by inexplicable towers.
Yeah, that's fair enough. This is effectively like, yeah, if this shit happened,
this is what every cult strives to do.
Yeah.
Even with like the complete even the getting in supplies without ever having to go out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is what they want.
I wanted to stay there,
Jessica said, pressing her head into the pillow.
I wish I never had to leave.
Wasn't it loud? Wasn't it busy?
That's what made it so great. I could get lost there. I wouldn't be noticed there. I could just go about my business and
what?
Live.
Jessica said.
Without fear that it had to mean something.
You do mean something.
That's not what I'm saying.
I'm serious, Jess. You mean something. Jessica's quiet. My heart pounds in my chest as I wait for her to respond.
Thanks, Sarah.
I mean, we kind of we didn't have to say it to guess that, but that's all she says. It's not what I wanted to. Oh, we took the wrong parts then. Fuck. But I'll take it. Oh, Sarah. Oh, poor Sarah. I was being like, she does seem like she's protesting a little too much, you know? What do you think happens at the top of the tower?
Hot tub.
That's it, just a big hot tub. All right, yeah, I can see it.
Reward for getting to the top.
Wow. I would like one hot tub tower.
Tough to keep full. Gotta pump the water all the way up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was thinking that the tower itself was the tub, but you had to get in from the top up all the way up.
flagwave.wmv.
I love it.
This is great.
As I unlock the door to the police station, a young woman hurriedly approaches me.
Sheriff Wright. Hey, Sheriff Wright.
Oh, I'm right here. You don't need to yell.
I'm Maddie Gray. Charlotte Bataille sent me. I think I'm supposed to be a deputy.
I don't need a deputy.
I hear 2 people have gone missing. That's not good.
They haven't gone anywhere. They're somewhere in town. I got a tip last night and I'm probably going to find them before noon.
You could still use some help, right? You've been doing this alone for months and it has to get tiring.
What are your qualifications?
I don't really know.
Have you worked in law...
Got a wound on your arm.
Have you worked in law enforcement before? Security?
Not really.
But you work for the Batailles, right?
I used to before the contingency. I haven't had much to do since then. I guess that's why they suggested me for the job.
And what did you do for them?
I handled public relations for 3 resorts up in the Lake of the Ozarks.
So you did PR and now you think you could be a sheriff's deputy?
I already accepted the job offer from Mayor Ward.
Great. Fantastic.
Look, Sheriff, when I was little, I wanted to be a cop, and...
That's your qualification?
No, it's just I'm willing to do what I have to do to be useful. Even if all I'm doing is filing paperwork and making coffee.
How are you at eggs?
Eggs?
Well, I do have a prisoner to feed. And I'm also pretty hungry myself. Guess we can start you there.
You said the magic word, coffee. I will begrudgingly accept your employment.
Buddy cop, buddy cop, buddy cop. Oh, this is good. I like how she's wearing gray because her name is Maddie Gray.
Mm.
You know, just in case you forgot.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, we wouldn't want you to forget. People who have a color for a name and then aren't that color, like that's not the color they wear, that's not their color palette. Why? What are you doing?
About that prisoner, the mayor also wanted me to give you this.
Please tell me what's inside this envelope isn't what I think it is.
I don't know what's inside. He just said it was about August Flynn.
Fuck.
I think I just heard my name.
Fuck. And you're already awake. This day just keeps getting better.
What's going on?
Charlotte Bataille told me she wanted August released. Why exactly does she have the mayor wrapped around her finger?
So, he was pardoned? I don't need to be pardoned of anything. I was never actually convicted, and this whole jail routine has been a very inconvenient violation of my rights.
Go tell it to the Supreme Court.
You're just trying to get me to blow my own head off.
Once again, you astound me with your powers of intuition.
Are you really going to let him go? Didn't he kill 7 people? Allegedly killed 7 people.
See, like he never even, like even when it comes to like being like, just say no, you did it. Like, oh, like you have to be an asshole about this.
I don't really have a choice. If I'm going to pretend there's any kind of law here in Bataille, I have to at least follow the mayor's orders. But we're going to be keeping a close eye on him.
Wait?
Huh, you're my deputy, right? Hope you're ready for a lot of August stakeout duty.
Okay.
And whatever you do, do not listen to him. Like, he's gonna talk a lot. You can't stop it. Just don't listen to, okay? This is what you wanted, isn't it? Isn't this what you had in mind? There's a lot of crime in this town, but there's precisely one serial murderer, so he's going to be something of a focus.
Be honest, Sheriff. The only reason you're going to follow me around is that you're going to miss me.
Believe me, August, the second you step out of line and I get a chance to take a shot, I will not miss you.
You've used that barb before. 2 weeks ago. You're getting lazy.
Why do you keep track of... Never mind.
What else do I have to do in here?
Read your newspaper.
With no latte.
I even started the crossword for you.
How about I just make us all some breakfast? Is that okay?
There's a stove in the room down the hall. Eggs and bacon are in the fridge.
Will do. I like her will do face.
Me too. I'm liking Maddie so far.
She hurries off as if she doesn't want to be in the dining room when August is freed from his cell. I'm not so afraid. I've spent the last few months with him. There's very little he can do to surprise me. It's not my safety I'm worried about. It's the town's safety. Grab the keys to the cell from my desk and approach him.
Your new deputy is cute.
You think?
Not really, but you do.
Stop with the games, August.
No games, I can tell. You're lonely, and it's going to get even worse when I'm not here.
Then it's a good thing I like being alone.
No, you don't, but I suppose we'll just have to agree to disagree.
Oh my god, you are infuriating.
But am I wrong, though?
Yes! Yes, you are! You can't do the bit if you're actually wrong.
Are you going to open that door?
Are you going to get on the floor?
And walk the dinosaur?
Yes, that's what I want to see.
Yes.
Are you going to
moment.
kill anyone after I do?
I can't predict the future, Sheriff.
Oh my, see, it's shit like this. See, it's shit like this, August.
But I can tell you that I have no intention of killing anyone. Is that good enough for you?
No, but it's not my decision. Reluctantly, I unlock the door and let it swing open. I halfway expect him to lunge at me or attack me, but instead he merely saunters out.
Now, did I hear you two say something about breakfast?
Because remember, like, even if he hasn't killed anyone, we have seen him hold someone at knife point.
Yes,
So,
but who hasn't these days?
Most people! Still. I'm not obligated to feed you anymore, or house you for that matter. Good luck finding a place to stay.
So I can't just move into one of the many houses that are completely abandoned because their owners tried to leave the town.
No, you don't. You don't own them.
What does it matter? Who is going to evict me? Come to think of it, why did you move in with your roommate? Why didn't you just take the house of the police chief?
Because that's how things are. But as I'm standing here thinking about it, I'd much rather know exactly where you are. So I'm going to call an audible.
I'm sorry, what?
An audible. It's a football reference. Sports? Sport ball? Come on, you're a philosophy person.
Look,
You've at least watched John Boyce when you've been
Look,
high at 3
I was
a.m.
a drama kid.
Shit. I take it back. Today's not so bad. I got to see you confused by a word you didn't know.
I'm so glad that your poor communication skills can amuse you.
I'm going to change my mind. I don't want you wandering the town without a place to go. There's an empty house across from the dollar store. It was Danny Richards' place.
The man who took the train.
The same one.
Can you imagine if his body had landed differently across the tracks in some way that could have disturbed the next shipment? He could have starved us all to death.
That didn't happen. And his apartment is unoccupied. The door is unlocked. The fridge is probably a nightmare, though.
I'm sure I've seen worse.
I know you have.
Thank you, Sheriff. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to enjoy my freedom.
You aren't free, August.
Oh?
You're out of that cell, but you're still trapped in Bataille.
You and me both. Remember that if you ever need a friend to talk to...
A friend?
Well, we're no longer professional acquaintances. What else would we be?
I don't know. Enemies?
Life's too short to have enemies, Sheriff.
Also, all of the items I seized from you during your arrest and which were with you in the van are in the evidence room.
Thank you.
August smiles at me and heads into the evidence room just as Maddie returns.
Okay, so I burnt the eggs and I might have undercooked the bacon, but I don't like it too crispy, so... Where's August?
I told him that I'm done feeding him. He's getting his stuff. Though maybe we should make him test this food for us before he goes.
I can't believe I already screwed up.
It's okay. I always undercooked the eggs and burnt the bacon. For the first time, I notice a bandage around her arm with a small blood stain. Did you hurt yourself already?
Oh, this? No, that's from yesterday. Just, minor accident while I was, trimming some bushes. You know.
Why doesn't that make me feel any better?
So, how are we gonna find Jessica and Gary?
See, I believe her because if it really was something else other than that, she could have easily hid it by wearing sleeves.
I don't own anything with sleeves.
Well, hot, but also, okay, I don't know how to help you with that. We are not going to do anything. I am going to go to Gary's grandfather's cabin, and then I'm going to drag those kids down here and lock them up for a few hours to teach them a lesson. You're going to be cleaning that jail cell just in case August left anything unpleasant for us in there.
Wait, no way. I don't get to go with you, but I'm your deputy.
You're my assistant.
What if you need to arrest them both?
Have you ever arrested someone?
I mean, who hasn't these days?
Most people! What is with everyone here? Most people haven't done horrible things. Have you ever even fought someone?
I'm a brown belt in karate.
I mean, have you actually fought someone in a threatening situation?
Well, senior year of high school, I broke Donna Birch's nose.
I don't know who Donna Birch is. Is that impressive?
She got a good 5 inches on me.
Did she deserve it?
She called me a few names I didn't want to hear.
And did you deserve the names?
They weren't wrong, but they were cruel.
Clean out August's cell like I asked. When you're finished, you can meet me at the cabin.
But why not go together? It would be so much faster.
I don't want you touching anything until I've scoped out the place for myself.
Why not? I showered this morning.
It's not about that. It's about preserving evidence.
I thought Jessica and Gary were going to be there. Why would we need evidence after that?
Please stop asking these questions so I don't regret this.
Can do, boss.
And definitely don't call me boss. Call me Erica or Sherika if you must. In informal situations.
Are you going to have any food?
Nah. I might stop at the diner on the way to the cabin. August emerges from the evidence room carrying a duffel bag.
See me off, Sheriff.
Zoop. God, fucking August. He's such a little shit. Like, he looks all, like, he's trying to be all suave and shit and stuff, but he's just a little shit. God. Then again, there is something to be said for having a little shit man just there at all times, ready to mock you. Just keep him in the corner, be like, "Hey, you, mock me for a minute."
My self-esteem is getting too high. Please ruin my day.
I've grown increasingly uncomfortable with this.
August strides out of the precinct with a ridiculous grin on his face. The day is grim and humid, but August spreads open his arms, looks to the sky, and heaves a deep breath like a man surfacing from water.
Until now, I have been living in a cave, watching shadows.
All right, and that was 113 minutes, about, right? Right. So that's how long it took to get the Plato's Cave reference.
Now I will finally gaze upon the forms that cast them.
Please mark your bingo cards if you haven't yet.
Just wait till we get to Schrodinger's cat.
I was going to say, when's the cat box? Plato's Cave?
And so, you have been paying attention.
I don't need a philosophy teacher to know about Plato's Cave, August. Oh, shit. How do I... What's my rollback? There it is. I went to college.
I suppose you did.
He turns and steps towards me suddenly. My hand moves to my gun.
What's wrong? You don't want to hug me goodbye.
You should just go, August, and remember my warnings about breaking the law.
What law? The same law that imprisoned me for life. I think you're still confused, Sheriff Wright. That law and order doesn't exist anymore. In truth, you could shoot me right here, right now. And who would punish you for it? You're the sheriff. The mayor clearly doesn't give a shit. You're tempted, aren't you? You believe I'm the heartbreaker. You believe I'm going to waltz out there and pluck someone's vascular organ from their ribcage.
All right, no one actually says vascular organ instead of heart in casual conversation. You are trying too hard.
So, why not put a bullet between my eyes?
The old law and order is the only reason I'm letting you go. Anyway, it would be wrong.
Wrong? Why?
I mean, there are other reasons it's wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's wrong to kill a person without reason. I don't have to explain myself because you saved my... I don't think it's because he saved our life.
Yeah.
Yeah. August didn't like that, huh? Oh, well, too bad for him.
I don't have to explain anything to you. I don't have to speak to you ever again.
You can't even tell me why, can you? You're clueless, lost, the last remnant of a bygone era, fluttering around in the metaphysical willy-wah.
Jesus, August. Just go, so I don't have to listen to your bullshit anymore. He just stands there, staring at me. My whole body tightens, including my breath. I haven't seen that look in his eyes before, and I don't know what it means.
About to do some magic.
You think you're the only one tired of listening to bullshit. I'm tired of listening to yours, too. I thought you would turn out to be interesting, but maybe I was wrong. You're buried so deep in your own habits that you can't even see what's happening around you. You might have become a butterfly, but instead you'll die, rotting in your own fucking cocoon.
I'm not sure when I let my guard down, if I ever did at all. I thought I was ready, but his arms closed suddenly around me, locking my own arms in place, so I can no longer draw my weapon. I feel his finger on my neck, brushing it softly. Then his breath tickles my ear.
Got you.
My heart races. I force myself to think through my panic and rage. I can still get out of this. His stance is very secure, almost like he's had practice doing something like this. I guess I should have expected that. I might be able to knock him over if I just...
No need to fight, Erica. Don't ruin the moment.
Headbutt!
If I wanted to kill you, I would have done it already.
I'm about to make my move, shifting my weight to knock him over, when he lets go of me and steps back, arms up in surrender.
See, all finished. No harm done.
Has anyone ever told you about consent? Buddy, you son of a bitch.
Am I really so terrible for wanting to hug you goodbye?
You're the philosopher. Yes! I'm still too ruffled to think of a good response. My pulse pounds in my eardrums. Why?
You kept imagining I would do something like that, didn't you? I decided to oblige. Now, you don't have to keep wondering what will happen when I get the drop on you. I already did. And that wasn't so bad, now was it?
I'm gonna keep glaring daggers at you until you leave. He grins at me and waggles his fingers.
Until next time, Sheriff Wright.
Stop waggling your... Why? What is with that pose? What is the point of that pose? What are you doing? You look like an anime villain. Is that what you want to be? I didn't think you watched anime. God, it's currently been 138 days without Crunchyroll. How am I supposed to watch the Tatami Galaxy?
I've had nothing but this one old VHS of Yu Yu Hakusho for 6 months.
And it's only like episodes 21 and 22. What about episodes 1 through 20? I don't know what happens in them. As I approach the Reed's old cabin, I feel as if I'm walking straight towards a tower in the woods. Vernon wasn't exaggerating when he said the cabin was close to the perimeter. Then I notice a sedan parked on the side of the road. My heart leaps. It matches the description of Jessica's car. The car is unlocked. I don't see much inside except a backpack? The backpack has some folders and papers with Jessica's name in them. I see a planner with notes about assignments due next week. Everything here strikes me as normal. The backpack suggests Jessica planned to attend school the next day as always. But that is still just speculation. I'll re-examine the contents of the backpack later. For now, I'm more interested in what's in the cabin. That's a good point. Like, if she was planning on anything else, she wouldn't have brought her stuff for school the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very reasonable conclusion. So, what are the odds on August going out and murdering folks at some point? He's definitely going to get accused of it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I think the game will probably give us a choice at some point whether or not to believe him. I heard a door open.
August being free gives great cover for the vampires to eat a few people.
Oh, it does, actually, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's probably why the Draculas like him.
The cabin itself is a shed transformed into a residence. Overall, the building is neglected, as Vernon Reed suggested. Nature has crept in through the walls, the appliances are stained and moldy. Unfortunately, no one is here. If Jessica and Gary had been hiding out, something spooked them and they fled. The trail hasn't gone cold, though. Someone has been here. Recently. I see empty beer cans strewn about the floor. I see a mattress and disheveled blankets in the corner. These items aren't dusty or covered with cobwebs like everything else in the cabin. I also see a small pile of books near the bed. Glancing over them, they all seem to be reference books about supernatural and mythical creatures. Excellent.
Scary house, scary house.
Is that someone knocking at the door, or is that the music?
Scary house. I think it's the music.
Oh, there isn't even a door in here. What's behind me? The books all seem to be reference books about supernatural and mythical creatures. I put on a glove before picking up one of the books. It's titled History of Vampires. I flip through the pages and find them littered with notes. I pause on a section that's heavily underlined. If a vampire acclimates wholly to human life, such as consuming human food and abstaining from blood, they are almost indistinguishable from their human prey. They have nothing to fear from sunlight or garlic. Unfortunately, it is difficult for vampires to maintain this state for long. Eventually, they must drink human blood to prevent the decay of their bodies. Once the vampire inevitably feeds on living blood, he will regain power in the form of superhuman strength, senses, and abilities, but he will simultaneously grow vulnerable to sunlight, garlic, and silver. I jump with surprise and draw my gun. The book falls from my hands with a thud. My heart hammers. Why do I feel so anxious? Did I actually let that nonsense about vampires get into my head? I think the sound came from the attic. I point my gun up the ladder. Who's there? Jessica? Gary? This is Sheriff Erica Wright. Show yourself now.
Hello? Erica, it's me, Maddie.
Maddie? Surely enough, I recognize her voice, and then her face as she appears over the top of the ladder.
I guess I beat you here.
Wait, what? What? What are you doing here? I thought you'd have told you to meet me here after you finished cleaning the cell.
I cleaned it, then I biked here fast as I could. I guess I was even faster than I thought. I actually thought you'd already come here and left when I didn't see anyone.
That's ridiculous. I only just arrived. And I told you not to touch anything.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disobey you, but there's no harm done. I already found something interesting.
What? My head is still spinning. I truly don't understand how Maddie got here so fast. Is she lying to me? We didn't see a bike outside, did we? In any case, I'm not sure what to do about it now, so I might as well follow her up to the attic. Well, let's
Anything else to look at down here?
Yeah, let's keep looking around down here first. I wonder if there is a way to turn on a reticle or something, just so...
I don't think it needs one. I think it's... Oh, what's B do? Oh, that toggles this. Or does it?
Nope.
I mean, it seems fine. The game's clearly...
Oh, toggle HUD because it's a VN. So, like, what if you want to look
Okay.
at the CG?
The game's clearly very forgiving. As long as you're pointed in a general direction, that's good enough.
Yeah. There's a washing machine back here. There's a kettle. Okay. This all seems... Bottle. What are those? Contact lens case? Photographs. Look at this photograph. A chest.
Tools.
Tools! Insistent knocking outside continues. I heard there were tools in there. Let's see. Nothing else over here. Alright, well, let's head up. Once I top the ladder, I shake off my gloves, but to my surprise, there isn't much dirt on them. The ladder was quite clean. A quick visual scan of the attic informs me that it's filled with old junk. Random farm tools, boxes, fabrics, but the junk is pushed off to the corners, leaving a decent amount of open flooring. In fact, what shocks me most about the attic is that it's incredibly clean compared to the rest of the cabin. I don't see thick layers of dust or cobwebs like I saw below. The floor is almost shiny, as if recently mopped. I run my hand along a chair and, again, find the tip of my glove clean. My glove's off in irritation. They don't serve any purpose if the place has already been wiped down. Notice that Maddie's watching me again with a strange look on her face. Guilt? I also noticed a dirty rag and cleaning spray nearby. The smell of it is still fresh in the air. Maddie? Was the attic this clean when you got here?
Not exactly.
Did Did you clean it?
Well, yes, a little bit.
Fucking hell! Maddie flinches with surprise at my outburst, but tries to recover quickly.
I can understand why you're angry. You must think I'm a fool, but this is all just a misunderstanding. I thought you'd already come here and,
What else did you touch?
Not much, I swear. I swear to God, Sheriff, this is the only area I cleaned, and the ladder. I'm very sorry, but I wanted to look around in this junk for clues, and it just really irritated my nose.
Please, just leave.
Hear me out. This isn't entirely my fault. Could be some sort of time slippage.
Did you just say time slippage?
Yes,
This isn't a Vonnegut novel. Get the hell out of here.
I've heard it can happen near the towers. Time doesn't seem to flow the same way as other places. Maybe that's why I got to the cabin so much faster than you.
Do you have any idea how ridiculous you sound right now? I'm so mad at this girl, I feel like throwing her down the attic door, but the look in her eyes gives me pause. She's quite serious.
How long ago did you leave the precinct?
Well, about 45 minutes ago.
For me, that was about 2 hours ago. We're experiencing a time anomaly.
I told you that's ridiculous. Drop it.
Fine, we'll compare them again back at the precinct. You'll see. I heard of all sorts of strange occurrences near the towers.
Those strange occurrences are all bullshit. They result from overactive imaginations and stressful situation. Our job is to investigate facts. No, let me rephrase it. It's my job to investigate facts. I doubt you'll have a job at all once I inform the Batailles of your failure.
My failure?
Her face seems to lose several shades of color.
Please, Erica, don't complain to the Batailles about me. I want to do a good job. I don't wish to displease them or you.
Okay, so she's one of the someone they're feeding on then? Is she like maybe not a thrall, but like someone who's gotten in good in exchange for...
Probably. And probably sent here to make sure that Erica does not trace anything back to the Batailles. And
right.
To help investigate every other lead that doesn't point that way.
Right, and to make sure she's able to kind of like, quickly wipe it down, everything else that's not right.
Yup. I'm so sorry I cleaned the attic. You're right, it was foolish. No matter the circumstances, and it won't happen again. I'll make it right. I'll do my best. Please, let me make it up to you.
I'm disturbed by her desperation. Why does she want to please the Batailles so badly? Does she respect them or perhaps fear them? I'll have to ask her more about it later.
I did find something that should make you very happy.
You found this while cleaning?
Yeah, I told you I was looking for clues.
You were destroying clues, but this is...
But this is interesting, right?
I like her like, yeah!
Yeah.
I take the piece of paper from Maddie and examine it carefully. It's folded into thirds. Clearly it was stuffed into an envelope at some point, though. I have a sneaking suspicion Maddie might have accidentally thrown it away, that envelope.
It's an invitation to leave the town.
I can read it on my... What? What did you say?
Like you said, you can read it on your own.
That was... I try to ignore Maddie's sarcasm and turn my attention back to the letter. It's only a few lines, but reading it makes me suddenly feel hollow. Dear Miss Murdoch, I'm pleased to inform you that your efforts have been deemed sufficient for the Bataille Repatriation Society. Please report to a location near one of the contingency towers to proceed with the final stage of trials required to safely leave Bataille. Remember, you are permitted to bring one, but only one person along with you. Please choose wisely. If you inform anyone other than your chosen guest of this opportunity, it will be promptly rescinded, and you will not receive any further communique from the Society. We look forward to our next meeting and your eventual release. All best, the Bataille Repatriation Society. Well, that just got weird.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's like the first genuine like curveball, I think. Like that's the first one where like, okay, I did not see something like that coming. Okay. Well, I'm on let's see. What the hell is going on here, Maddie?
I'm as clueless as you.
Where did this letter come from? Where is the envelope? What is the return address? Was it mailed or was it hand-delivered?
I don't know. Why should I know any of that?
Because you found it! This letter is a fake, right?
What are you saying?
There's no Bataille Repatriation Society. There are no trials permitting people to leave.
Why are you so angry at me?
Several reasons! Because you cleaned this attic, Maddie. Because you cleared out an entire room of evidence and picked this up with your bare hands and placed it in my bare hands, and now we'll never know who planted it.
Is there still even a way to compare fingerprints? Any database of that information would have been at the county, and
I could still gather new fingerprints, perhaps from suspects. Anyway, that's not the point. It's like, yeah, like, you don't have your database. You can't just find it, look it up, but you can compare still, right? And that's still valuable. Tell me, did you really come here and suddenly think you needed to clean up? Or was that your job all along?
I really don't understand what's going on. Is there something in that letter that makes you angry?
Yes, Maddie. Yes, I am angry. Because someone is playing a game with me, and I hope it isn't you. I hope it's Jessica, or the Bataille family. But whatever this letter is, it is not a clue. It is a red herring planted by you or someone else to hide what really happened to Jessica Murdoch and Gary Reed.
How do you know? What if she really found a way out?
She didn't. Either someone scammed her or someone is scamming me. And whoever it is, they're not going to get away with it.
What are you going to do?
I don't know, but I'm getting the urge to headbutt it. You might want to back up if you don't want to headbutt. Reaction's even better. Take it or leave it. But I'm not going to discuss it with you.
But I'm your deputy.
Yeah, maybe. Once I figure out whether you're a part of this.
Look, whatever's going on, if someone is faking a way out of Bataille, they probably aren't letting their victims live.
You think?
Yeah, of course. In PR, the worst thing you can run up against is a person who can reliably testify that what you are offering is false. So whoever wrote this letter, if it's fake, might be a murderer. If you're up against a murderer, you're going to need help.
I know. But until I know you're not involved, I don't need your help.
Then who?
I feel a lump in my throat. I can't even believe the idea is forming in my head, but I also can't get rid of it. If Maddie is compromised, if she is hiding something, then surely it's because of the Bataille family. If I'm sure she's not alone. The Bataille family clearly has control over the mayor. Their private security handles picking up the train shipments and delivering them to the local business. Everyone here is susceptible to their influence. Everyone but one horrible person.
So who? Who can help you deal with a murderer if not me?
Another murderer.
Hell yeah!
Buddy cop! Woo! One cop's a murderer. The other cop? Well... just the door? Okay.
Seems like it.
Boop, boop, boop. Just wanted to double check. All right, we're out of here. I'm going to brush for fingerprints. Why don't you head back to the station?
Oh, really? You sure I can't help you with the brushing?
Normally it would be nice to have another pair of hands to help me handle the fingerprint powder. But what if she tries to sabotage any evidence I gather? Actually, it will take me a while to collect fingerprints. It would help me a lot if you man the precinct desk in the meantime. What if someone calls in with news of Jessica or Gary and one of us isn't there?
I guess you're right.
She looks around uncertainly. Then she sways and clutches her head. Maddie, are you all right?
I think so. My head feels fuzzy or something. It must be this cabin.
All the more reason for you to head back to the station.
Fine, I will.
She starts to leave, but then pauses to give me a parting glance.
Good luck, Erica.
If you say... All right, if you say so. I complete the tedious work of gathering fingerprints around the cabin, but I don't feel very hopeful. As I suspected, I can't gather any fingerprints at all from the attic, ladder, or doorway. Those have all been wiped clean. It seems that Maddie, and perhaps the Batailles, want to disrupt my investigation. And if that is true, I'm not sure how to proceed. My only option is might be to turn into an unlikely source of intellect for help.
Achoo.
Ah! Never mind, you can stay here. Just when I thought I was out. My spirits are already low when I return to the precinct. They're not aided by the fact that Mrs. Murdoch is waiting for me there.
I'm sorry, boss. I told her we had nothing to report, but she insisted on waiting for you.
I told you not to call me boss. I told you to call me Sherika.
Oh, you did? Right.
Looking confused, Maddie turns and wanders back to the desk.
Sheriff Wright, I hear you investigating the old Reed cabin near the border.
Yes, it seems that Jessica and Gary stayed there before they disappeared. A vehicle matching the description of Jessica's car is parked outside the What do you mean matching the description of? The number of cars in this area is finite. You have a list. I'm sure by now you have a list of literally every car. You can know exhaustively if that is what car that is. Right?
Oh, Lucius, have mercy.
Mrs. Murdoch clutches her hands together and prays swiftly.
So where do you think they are now?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Murdoch, but I still don't know your daughter's whereabouts. I've gathered some more evidence to examine, but I'll certainly let you know if I find something concrete.
But I don't understand. You've been looking for 2 days already. If they are trapped somewhere, they could be starving to death.
I am doing everything I can, Mrs. Murdoch.
You said it would be easy to find them in a town this small. You said there was nothing to worry about. You said...
I'm very sorry, Mrs. Murdoch. I have nothing more to tell you at this time. If you please let me get back to work, I'll continue doing whatever I can to locate Jessica and Gary.
I understand. I'll pray for you.
Trembling and clutching her hands, she finally leaves. Meanwhile, Maddie continues to sit at the desk, clutching her head and looking into space. Maddie, would you scrounge up some lunch for me, please?
Lunch? I think you mean dinner.
No, I mean lunch. I check my watch. A late lunch, I admit, but it's only 1:30.
No, it's 5:15.
She points to the clock on the wall. I'm shocked to discover that she's correct. That can't be right. My watch matched that clock before I left this morning.
I told you that people experience time slippage near the towers.
Okay, so Maddie set the clock then. Because if we've been working in the same area for 6 months, including doing frequent walks around the perimeter, right?
Mm-hmm.
This would have happened to us before now and we would have noticed it.
But consider that we're also a Scully. We
That
might
is
not want to notice
That
it.
is true. We are the Scully. We are the Scully, so it is going to be like, yeah.
We could just think that the clock is shitty and all this time be like, clock's half an hour off. Gotta reset it again. Dang old clock.
True. Okay. I accept that. That's ridiculous. Oh my god, we even have the haircut. No, it's not the...
Kinda.
It's not the haircut, but it's close. It's serviceable, right? It's a serviceable Scully. If someone showed up in a Scully cosplay with that haircut, I would not object.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I pull off my watch and throw it into a desk drawer. I need a new watch battery. That's all there is to it. Now, will you get me some food?
Sure thing, Erica. Sherika?
Thank you. She turns to the kitchen, then pauses again.
Are you sure I can't help you with the fingerprints you collected?
You've done more than enough to help already, Maddie. I think you should stick to answering the phone, cleaning and cooking from here on out.
I'm really sorry I disappointed you back at the cabin. I'm honestly not sure why I cleaned that attic. To be honest, I don't feel really well today. My head feels jumbled. I'm not sure what came over me.
So maybe she's like a thrall of some kind?
Yeah, they're totally glamoring people.
Yeah, so
That's
it's not
absolutely what's happening.
It's not necessarily that she's malicious intentionally, right? It's that she is under their spell, as it were.
Yep.
Okay.
And it didn't work on Erica.
Right. It couldn't work on Sherika.
Once I get to feeling better, I hope I can do more to help you, to really help.
We'll see. Until then, please just do as I say. And right now, I want you to stay away from the evidence I brought back with me.
Yes, okay, I understand.
She shuffles away, still looking morose and dejected. Against my will, my gaze shifts to August's cell. Wonder what he would say about all of this. I imagine it in my head right now.
Gay, homosexual, gay.
August seems to have forgotten that we are an Otome game. I sigh and shake my head helplessly. As the saying goes, if the world gives you lemons, make life take the lemons back? I seem to remember hearing that somewhere. Although August would absolutely just stand behind someone. Gay, homosexual, gay. August, what are you
Doing a crossword. It's a very redundant crossword. The next day, I find myself dragging my feet to Danny Richards' old house, now August's. By now, I've already wrestled with my decision to seek his help at least a dozen times. First, I tell myself that I should never go to a serial killer for help, and I probably lost my mind. And then I consider all the practical reasons he might help me with the missing persons case, along with the fact that I'd like to keep an eye on him. Finding myself at the ladder, I take a deep breath and finally knock on the door. I wait for such a long time that I start to worry he isn't home. Is he getting into trouble already? Hey, Erica, did you know that they have Mario Kart? Then the door cracks open ever so slightly, and I see his blue eyes peering out at me.
Sheriff Wright.
You sound genuinely surprised. I can't resist a smug smile. I guess you can't predict my actions as well as you thought. He opens the door wider.
I assumed you'd come knocking sooner or later, just not quite this soon.
I'm surprised to see him looking even more haggard than usual, and I'm used to seeing him in prison. He is as unkempt as ever, quite pale, and there are rings under his eyes. So, if he is also a vampire, then it makes sense the Batailles would step in after a while and be like, okay, based on the book we read, like, okay, he's got to get his thing now before he loses all, yeah.
Gotta let him out, let him get some blood.
Well, are you going to invite me in? Unless maybe you're hiding something in there.
Funny that she's the one saying, like, hey, invite, because traditionally vampires need to be invited over the threshold, right? That's...
It's interesting that he's complying with Erica's suggestion to live here, because that whole conversation, he really could have gone anywhere and just stayed in anyone's house. Who would stop him?
Right, exactly.
But he required Erica to invite him into one of them, and then did that one.
Interesting. Yeah, depending on what vampire rules we're working with here, yeah, absolutely.
Unless maybe you're hiding something in there.
Oh, I'm sure you'll invite yourself, one way or another. Unless perhaps you're a vampire and you'll burn upon the threshold. That was a joke, but from the look on your face, I wonder if I hit upon some shred of truth.
Oh, shut up.
I push the door open and walk into the house. It's dark and dusty inside. I expected as much for a home that has been abandoned for weeks. So wait, what are the other vampire tropes we haven't hit yet? Kill him with a stake, right?
Yeah.
The garlic sunlight stuff, that was in there.
Gay as heck.
Gay as heck. Yeah, that's true.
Turn into bats. Fight werewolves.
Cursed with a soul. Right, that one happens. Pretty sure. At least to one of them. God! I keep remembering how fucking creepy that is. Like, I didn't, I watched Buffy when I was, like, not really media literate enough to quite understand, like, how fucking fucked up the way it portrays that relationship, but... Anyway, I'm done talking about Buffy now, I swear. Wait. Tara and Willow. Okay, now I'm done. It's dark and dusty inside. I expected as much for a home that has been abandoned for weeks. What I don't expect is to see clothes and junk strewn about. A couple of chairs have been knocked over and some sort of dishware, perhaps a plate, is smashed across the floor. Was the place like this when you moved in? He sighs heavily as he closes the door behind me.
No, this is embarrassing.
What happened in here, August?
Nothing of importance, I promise. I just had a minor temper tantrum.
With the dog. I just had a temper tantrum.
This place was already a mess, but I made it a little messier.
You had a temper tantrum?
Oh, stop looking at me like that. I know what you're thinking. What puerile and disturbed conduct. Surely this is the behavior of a wanton serial killer.
You know what, August? What puerile and disturbed conduct? Surely this is the behavior of a wanted serial killer.
But I assure you, I merely had a bad night. I also got drunk for the first time in years, and I'm still nursing my hangover.
But I don't understand. Shouldn't you be happy now that you're free of your cell?
Yes, one would think. I suppose that's the problem. I expected to feel joyful and industrious once I got out. I thought I would have new revelations about this town and why we're stuck in it.
And?
When that didn't happen, well, I suppose you could say I had a brief chat with despair.
Which pair?
Despair.
Which pair? You're not showing me a pair. You can't talk to despair if despair is not here.
Tell that to the bottom of my liquor bottle.
Is liquor going to be a problem for you now?
No, too expensive. I don't have a job, and soon this town will figure out money is worthless, and I likely have even less to barter. But I'll have to find some new vice to indulge in, I suppose. My previous vice of choice, that no longer seems to be an option.
Why do you insist on doing this? If you actually are innocent, why do you insist on being like this? I fix him with a dark scowl.
I'm kidding. I just wanted to see that expression on your face. Embarrassment aside, it does cheer me up to see you again, Sheriff. To what do I owe the pleasure?
I take a deep breath, still reluctant to admit I want his help. Do you still have any liquor around?
I might.
It's never too early for day drinking.
That's true. Time has no meaning anymore since the event.
We have a name for the event. You can't make the event jokes if there actually was the event. He disappears for a moment. I hear dishes clanging around, and then he motions me into the kitchen with some whiskey and glass. He pours me a generous amount and then hands it over.
Bottoms up.
I hesitate before drinking. You first.
As I said, I'm hungover, but if you insist.
He takes the glass and downs a solid gulp. Then he refreshes the whiskey and hands it back. Satisfied, I finally indulge in a large gulp of my own. I sigh as the warm burn rushes down my throat. And then I go for more.
See, no poisons or roofies in your drink. Just the subtle, sweet mixture of my saliva with yours on the
Why
glass.
are you like this, August? I sputter in the middle of my next sip, and then I angrily set the whiskey glass down. Why do you have to ruin everything, August?
Maybe you should go ahead and say what you came here to say before my teasing goes too far.
His fucking oh, I'm innocent face. I can't. It doesn't work, August.
Poor whittle me.
Oh no! It is a poor whittle me face. Oh no!
After all, the suspense is killing me.
Fine, I'll get straight to the point. I don't trust Maddie. I think either Maddie or the Batailles had something to do with Jessica's disappearance. Today, Maddie cleaned up an important crime scene, or what I suspect was a crime scene, before I could examine it. I don't trust her. I don't trust the Batailles. And I don't trust anyone the Batailles have under their control. And the Batailles control most of the town.
Interesting. Very interesting.
You don't seem surprised.
No, I suspected Maddie was only there to spy for the Batailles, or, as you say, disrupt your investigation.
Oh, that's right. You know everything, don't you?
I know the only truth that there is no...
That's a cogent sentence. You can do it.
Sorry, hungover. I know the only truth is that there is no truth. Therefore, I know nothing. But knowing nothing allows me to know a great deal more than you.
You know, for a philosophy professor, you sure don't like to talk about anything that happened in the past, say, millennium. I pour myself some more whiskey.
So, you want my help?
I wouldn't reject your assistance.
You'll have to be clearer than that, Erica. I'm not your prisoner anymore, and I won't follow you around like a lapdog.
If you won't be my lapdog, then stop looking like one. But you're bored, and you're unhappy, aren't you? The whole Sherlock Holmes vibe? Fine, I'll say it. I want your help, but I'm not sure what that means just yet. I don't think I can fire Maddie. After all, the Batailles didn't care about my opinion when they forced her to join me.
If you're implying you want me to do something about Maddie...
Oh God, no! No!
Good, because I would have refused, of course.
This isn't a time for games, August. 2 people are missing and the trail is growing cold.
May I offer a suggestion?
I'm listening.
The Bataille Church is holding a service tomorrow. Julian invited you, didn't he?
Yes, but I'm not a churchgoer.
Then say your prayers and read the Bible tonight. I think we should go. The Batailles built that church, didn't they? Charlotte's father or great-grandfather or something.
How do you know that?
I went by there shortly after you released me, but it was empty. I read the plaque near the door. But then I got to drinking, so the details, they're hazy. Maybe we'll learn something valuable about the family and their followers.
Did you learn how to tuck a shirt while you were there?
No.
Okay.
That's just not possible. Besides, don't you want to hear more about Lucius Christ?
See? Doesn't know how to
I do the stylish half-tuck, you Philistine.
Have you at least figured out how to button your shirt? Oh my god. I suppose I don't have any better ideas.
Good, then it's a date.
I already want to fire you. If you're going to work with me, August, then you have to stop with the jokes.
And if you're going to work with me, then you'll have to endure them, Sheriff, right? Otherwise, this won't be any fun at all. So, do we have a date or don't we?
I take one more swig of the whiskey and sigh helplessly. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Time to go to church.
Let's all go to the church. I want. We're really hitting that bottle real fast there, huh? I know it's just for dramatic effect, right? You have to, I'm sick of this shit. You have to have a drink, right? Show how world weary you are. But
she has to,
part of me wonders if maybe us being an alcoholic might come up at some point.
She has to have a whole conversation with August. That's understandable.
Okay, that's true. It's not just being world weary or hard boiled or it's.
Even August can't stand having a whole conversation with August, as we can tell.
Oh, August, we are never going to stop giving you shit, bro. I'm surprised to find August waiting for me just outside the church. I knew he was interested in whatever was happening here, but I suspected he'd fail to show up when it was time to actually investigate. I also figured he might be hungover again.
You're late.
Excuse me?
The sermon started 15 minutes ago.
I know. I'm not here for that. I'm here to talk to Charlotte Bataille.
Well, I'm here for both, so let's hurry so we don't miss all of it.
You're religious all of a sudden?
No, I'm curious, as should you be.
I just want to find Jessica and Gary. It's clear that Charlotte Bataille knows something she doesn't want me to know.
So absolutely no interest in why the people at this church, and only this church, use the name Lucius instead of Jesus.
That's not really my concern. It's a free country.
You told me yesterday that none of us are free.
I'm just saying that it's not my pressing concern.
Then I will have to take it upon myself to investigate this for you.
Please don't.
Shall we head inside before we miss any more of the sermon?
I suppose. Oh, if he was a vampire, he would burn upon the threshold of the church, but this doesn't appear to be a Christian church, so he's probably fine.
That's why it can't be a Christian church.
That's why it can't be a Christian church.
Because of the vamps.
I know my vampire tropes. If I understand my vampire tropes correctly, can't cross the threshold, right? They'll burn up in a church, whatever. Crosses, and they are really good at baseball. Did I get everything? I genuinely. Oh my god! The big. I just finished Nirvana Initiative, so I see that, and I'm like, oh no! Everything is quiet as we enter. The pastor, a woman named Kimberly, who I've seen around town but never spoken to, has taken a pause for dramatic effect. There are 50 or so people in the church. I see Mrs. Murdoch as well as both Charlotte and Julian Bataille near the front of the chapel. No one turns to look at me as I enter, but Pastor Kimberly fixes me with a slightly accusatory gaze from her pulpit. I find a seat near the back. Regrettably, August sits down right next to me. Gives me a smile, and I tried to hide my disgust. Interesting that Charlotte and Julius are in the crowd for this. If it was like a brainwashing thrall scenario, right?
You'd expect them not to be in harm's way. I guess maybe they're vampires, so they don't have to. But.
Yeah. I think they're the ones doing it. I think I think having the church is a convenient way to get everyone gathered together.
Okay.
They probably. I assume it's like what happened with Erica, where it's just one of them kind of got close and tried to suggest something very forcefully, and Erica felt a little funny.
Yep.
And so Lucius, the Prince of Peace, the flame undisturbed, spoke to the supplicant with a tale of a rich man who had abundant fields. This wealthy farmer found one harvest that he did not have enough room in his granary for all the grain he had reaped.
I'm so glad one of us has a really good southern accent, because I fucking don't.
And he wondered to himself what he could do with it. Rather than reinvest his wealth and build new barns, he chose to give his surplus grain to the less fortunate farmers round him. God came to him that night and said, "You are a fool. How will the other farmers become as prosperous as you if you simply provide for them when they fail to reap their own crops?"
Okay, notes. I've got some notes on this church already. just some thoughts.
And God asks the farmer, "What if you were to die tonight? What would these other farmers do without you now that they've learned to depend on your hard work?" You see, the farmer could have used his success to expand his farm and become an example to the others so that they might similarly better themselves. Instead, he chose to make them depend on him.
Oh no, this is the worst. I lean over and whisper to August. No matter what else he is, I know he's probably not the only person in the room who can answer my question truthfully. It's been years since I went to church, but this is all wrong, isn't it? Isn't how the story goes?
Oh, you're absolutely correct. Curious yet?
The pastor shoots me another withering glance, and I quickly end the conversation. She goes on for another 10 minutes, discussing the virtues of wealth and the accumulation of wealth.
Libertarian Jesus, Libertarian Jesus.
God, Libertarian Jesus Church. Oh, this is... Oh, I'm sorry, Libertarian Lucius. Oh, that's where the L comes from! Wow! It's been over 15 years since my days in Catholic school, but by the end I'm left either questioning everything I've heard or everything I remember. I want to say it's wrong. I want to stand up and tell them that Lucius Marius Christ, the full name of their savior, isn't real. But I can't. The longer I stay in my seat, the more I start to question my own recollection of the Bible. Were they the ones giving the wrong name, the wrong lessons? Or was it my own mind forgetting the truth?
You're not crazy, Sheriff Wright.
What?
I can tell what you're thinking, and you're not crazy.
It's not comforting coming from you.
I thought you needed to hear it from someone.
Pastor Kimberly wraps up her sermon and everyone gets up and begins to disperse. A few people head to barbecue outside. Others leave and go about their day. You know, I wasn't a big fan of church growing up because a lot of reasons. But, like, the one part of it where, like, you have your community together once a week and you, like, share a meal and just chat with people in your community. I can understand the appeal of that. Like, that is genuinely something that just doesn't have any other analog, really.
Yep.
And I can understand the value in that and wanting something like that in your life.
Good luck with your mission.
What?
I have questions for the pastor. Very in-depth questions.
Yes, of course you would.
I assume you're headed for the Batailles before they return to their mansion.
Please don't make me regret coming in with you.
I wouldn't dare.
He smiles again and makes a beeline for Pastor Kimberly, nudging himself in front of a few other people who clearly had questions for the leader of the church. Wow, what a dick. Why are they teaching about prosperity when their money is meaningless? Okay, interesting. So we're in the church now. All right.
Is that going to be Liam, the other one there?
If I had to guess, I'd say yeah, because this is going to be all the Batailles in one place. Let's start with you, because I remember what your voice is. I'm glad you accepted the invitation, Erica. What did you think of the service? Well... Ask about the religion. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I have to admit, this church doesn't preach the same version of the Bible that I remember from Catholic school. You went to Catholic school, so you are religious. No, I'm sorry, but I'm not religious. I didn't have much choice in where I went to high school. But I've heard the parable of the rich fool before, and it didn't go like that. In the Bible story, the rich farmer hoarded his grain on his own barn rather than sharing it. God reprimanded him for his selfishness.
saying the farmer would die and now no one would eat at all.
Not very familiar with Catholic beliefs, but I suppose it's just a difference in all denominations.
No, this isn't just a matter of interpretation. I'm saying the actual Bible story is different.
It's still a matter of interpretation, isn't it? The Bible has been interpreted many different times and in many different languages. Anyway, there's no reason to get lost in the fine details, so long as you glean wisdom from the story.
I disagree.
An awkward silence hangs between us, and yet he liked that option still. Oh, I see someone I need to talk to. Please excuse me for a moment.
Of course.
Excuse me for... I need to go into a lower resolution.
You must be so proud of me. There's 3 Draculas in this room, and I haven't even screamed yet.
How have you managed not to scream yet? All right, so who do you want to talk to? Charlotte first?
Sure.
And then we'll talk to Liam. Oh, they're one group, okay.
Meanwhile, I approached Charlotte Bataille with questions of my own.
Erica, I'm so glad that you were able to come by this morning. I hope that you would eventually join the flock. There's so much good we can do here in Bataille, and...
I'm not here to join anything.
Oh?
We need to talk about the girl you pushed into being my deputy.
Maddie, I thought you'd like her. She seems like your type.
My type?
Never mind. Maybe I read you wrong. Maybe I was a little hopeful.
This is an Otome game. That doesn't happen in Otome games.
She's really trying. Let me, as far, you know what? I'm sure someone has a counterexample for me.
Yeah.
Why did you really get her assigned to work with me?
I don't understand.
You're trying to cover something up about Jessica Murdoch, and you made the mayor hire Maddie so she could do the dirty work.
I'm sorry. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I walked into the cabin where I know Jessica and Gary were staying, and Maddie had scrubbed down all the walls and floors. Isn't that a little suspicious?
She has always been something of a clean freak. Is that a problem?
Yes! At a crime scene? Yes!
What a shame. I'm sorry she isn't working out. But I will have to insist that she remain on your staff. If you still haven't found the missing kids, it's clear you need all the help you can get.
You're pushing your luck.
What exactly are you threatening to do?
I'm going to figure out what your family is up to here. Jessica, the train, the towers, and you and your brothers. She thought it was all connected, and now I'm starting to agree. Before Charlotte can come up with a response, I notice someone listening attentively. Not sure how long he's been standing there, but he's actually quite close. Charlotte seems to notice him at the same time. She sighs heavily.
Do you have something you want to say, Liam?
Not really. I'm sorry, Charlotte. I couldn't help but overhear.
His golden eyes fix on me, gleaming with curiosity. I can't help but stare back at him.
Oh, right. You two haven't met. Erica, this is my brother Liam. Adopted, in case you wanted to ask. Liam, this is Erica Wright, our most recent sheriff.
It's nice to meet you.
Likewise.
The smile on his face is warm enough to dissolve the chill coming from Charlotte.
Liam, this woman has questions about our family, and I'm growing rather tired of them. Maybe you can entertain her.
Without any further ado, she turns around and starts talking to someone else.
You were required to do that every time she leaves.
Yeah.
Liam and I stand awkwardly for a moment. Please forgive my sister's lack of manners.
Thanks. I'll try, but I can't make any promises. He smiles again, and his expression is so warm that I can't help but smile back.
So, how do you like being sheriff?
The question catches me off guard. How do I like it?
I love her. I love Erica's surprised face.
Yeah.
Where I just go like, Sure, is it the sort of work you enjoy?
I enjoyed being an FBI agent, but now it doesn't really matter how much I like anything, does it?
I believe it still matters. If I didn't enjoy my work as an engineer, I'd go crazy.
You're an engineer? What kind?
Oh, I dabble in a few varieties. Mechanical, architectural, electrical. I learn as much as I can, really.
Specialize in towers.
Oh, no. I do specialize in towers. Like I was saying, if you don't enjoy being sheriff, maybe we can find you a job you'd enjoy more.
What sort of job? Do you expect me to tend chickens? No, thank you. Who would even replace me? I shudder to think of who your family would hire for the job after they sent me a deputy who cleans evidence from the crime scenes. Which Again, I get legitimate grievance. Or are you just trying to get me off the case?
No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
I'm sure you make a great sheriff. And as for your new assistant, I'm really sorry you don't like her. I can't speak to her qualifications, but Maddie is a nice girl. I just asked because you seem pretty high-strung. No offense. I can't afford to relax in my line of work. I'm already annoyed by the fact that it's Sunday, which means most of the town shuts down, and I can't get much work done. I can see how that might seem strange to someone who didn't grow up in a small town. Oh.
I take it you're not usually the church-going type.
What gave me away?
Oh, that constant look of disgust on your face?
Shit, I'm sorry.
He laughs warmly. Please don't be. I get it. I get it completely.
He leans in close and lowers his voice.
Honestly, I don't believe in any of this shit. I just like getting away from our stuffy old mansion.
Really?
Sure. Don't get me in the wrong. It's a nice place, but any place gets old after a while. Have you ever been inside the Bataille mansion?
No, I haven't.
That's too bad. Maybe I can show you around sometime. Beautiful building, even has an indoor swimming pool.
He winks. I want to be annoyed or at least guarded, but because he's another Bataille, but I'm not annoyed. I'm smiling back at him. Maybe I'll take you up on that offer. I have a lot of questions about your family. Your siblings haven't been very, forthcoming.
I know how that is. They can be real assholes sometimes. I'll try to make up for as much of that as I can.
Maybe I can try my luck with Liam right now by asking some more questions. So it did the big choice thing, so I'm guessing we only get to ask one of these.
Yeah.
Do we want to continue... Ooh... Do we want to tip our hand now? Or I think we've determined that the train is definitely not where Jessica's mind is at. Right? She was interested, but I think it's clear from the stuff that we were.
Yeah.
Or do you think Maddie gave us that specifically to throw us off?
I don't know.
Because
Actually,
I don't know. If she is working for them and cleaning crime scenes, then that means she wanted us to find that.
Yeah.
What do you think? I'll leave it up to you.
Let's ask about the train.
You want to ask about the train?
Yeah, I want to know more about my train.
Do you know anything about the train that brings materials into Bataille? Materials into Bataille is what I just said. Do you know anything about the train that brings materials into Bataille? My understanding is that your family funds it.
Yeah, well, that's true. We fund it.
If you fund it, then how do you send payment?
We send physical money with the train itself when it leaves town.
Cash?
We keep a fair amount of liquid assets on hand.
Oh, I guess that makes sense then. What will you do when you run out of physical money? It'll happen eventually.
That's a good point. I'm sure Charlotte will think of something. She always does.
How did it start? How did you first know to send money with the train?
I don't know. I wasn't involved with that. My focus is on the train itself.
Is that because you're an engineer?
Yep. I check up on it each time it's in town to make sure everything's in order. Whoever's on the other side of the route doesn't seem to take care of it, so I have to.
Who is on the other side?
I have no idea. But it has to be someone. The cash disappears, the supplies show up.
You really don't know more about who controls the trains on the other side of the towers?
He fidgets for a moment, then shrugs. I know that the only answer to some questions is trouble, so it's best not to ask them. Same goes for you, okay?
I disagree, of course, but I can see that there's no point in arguing. Charlotte appears beside me. Could have sworn she was in the middle of talking to someone else just a second ago.
You two getting along?
Liam grins at his sister. Strangely enough, the smile he gives her seems more forced than the one he gave me.
We're getting along fine. You didn't tell me how cool Erica was.
Oh, please, Liam. You think everyone is cool. Erica, I hope you don't expect Liam to help you investigate anything. He's as sweet as a peach and as smart as a whip, but he's not very good at committing to hard work. Isn't that right, brother?
Hey, that's not... come on, His voice trails off until he stops and looks away.
See? He can't deny it.
I think I smelled Mary's latest donation of Sunday biscuits in the office. That's my cue. It was nice to meet you, Erica. Really, I hope we can talk more sometime.
He hurries off even as I struggle with how to respond. Yes, you too.
Does Charlotte's outfit, is she wearing a bodysuit under the pants and jacket?
No, what it is she's got like an undershirt.
Okay.
And that's tucked in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. I forgot the last line said she laughed.
I wanted to get in on it.
I'm so glad you two hit it off, but I should warn you, he's a moody one. Now, it has been so much fun chatting with you, but if you'll please excuse me...
Twirling a strand of hair around her finger, she saunters away.
Saunter, saunter.
Oh, have fun sauntering. All right, so she's sauntered off. Just want to double check and make sure there isn't anything like hidden in the church or something. I don't think this is the kind of game to pull something like that, but like imagine if there was like a hidden thing, right?
Yeah, imagine it.
Okay. Well, let's get the hay out of here. Erica, are you heading out? Yes, Sunday or not, I still have work to do.
Of course. But I hope you're not working every single day of the week. Perhaps with Maddie around you can take more time off.
I doubt that. Listen, I already chatted with Charlotte about this, but Maddie disrupted my investigation. I'm starting to wonder why you forced her onto my staff.
She disrupted your investigation. How so?
She wiped an area clear of evidence. The area might have been a crime scene, but now I'll never know.
I'm sure it was all just a misunderstanding.
I don't think so.
In that case, I will have a talk with her. I'll make sure she falls in line.
I remember the way Maddie pleaded not to make the Batailles mad at her. I'm still furious at her, but now I feel a prick of guilt. There's no need for that. The harm has been done. And Charlotte made it clear I have no choice but to keep Maddie on staff. I'll do my best to train her from here on out. Please don't do anything else. Not sure what else to say, I turn to go.
Erica, wait.
I turn around only to find him standing incredibly close to me. What is it with men in this town and in personal space? A strange aroma brushed my nose. It's very subtle and sweet, like a rose. Cologne, I suppose? But then I realized the strangest thing about the smell. Normally, even under cologne, one can smell the human body wearing it while standing this close. I don't smell anything at all under the soft tint of rose. Almost as if Julian has no scent at all.
I feel as if we keep finding ourselves at odds, and I'm not sure why. If you're suspicious of my behavior, let's do something that doesn't involve a missing persons case. Something a little more, neutral. How about I take you to dinner at some point?
The question questions me. The question catches me off guard. I simply stand and gawk back at him.
Dinner at a restaurant? I'll pay.
Yes, I understand, but I'm just surprised.
So, the idea doesn't completely revolt you?
No, I mean...
Good. Are you free tonight?
Well, maybe, but...
Excellent. Well, what's your favorite restaurant? There are 17. Pick one.
That seems like too many.
Oh, you're right. That is
700.
The joke was more that it's finite, right? But I guess you're right. That is still
Which
a lot.
is your favorite restaurant of the two?
Once again, I find myself gawking at him with bewilderment. My favorite restaurant? You do realize there's only one restaurant in Bataille, and that's the Prospector Cafe?
The diner.
I have the satisfaction of seeing him squirm for a moment. You forgot.
I don't dine in town very often.
Ever?
Well, in that case...
He clears his throat and seems to struggle with his words.
Perhaps I can think of something else.
No, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with the diner. We can eat there. I fight back a smile of pure amusement. Usually the one time he mingles with the townsfolk is at church where he can still lord over them. This date will be incredibly awkward for him, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it. Does 6 o'clock work for you?
Let's make it 8.
It's a little late for dinner, don't you think?
I prefer to eat late.
8 is late for dinner?
Honey, I don't know how to tell you this. Our lives are so fucked up time-wise right now. We eat breakfast after most people have eaten lunch. Okay? All right, I'll see you then. What a neat... I'm enjoying the intrigue so far, actually.
Like I'm liking the way the mystery's shaping up, but like, and that it's dangling so many things that seem so obvious that I'm just kind of wondering, like, is it going to play a lot of these straight and there's just going to be that many things colliding? Or are some of them going to wind up being red herrings? You know what I mean?
I'm curious. I want to know.
Yeah. I want to like Maddie. She's cool. But I mean, because clearly they're doing a lot of work to paint a very specific picture of what's happening to players who understand the tropes of vampire fiction, right? So I gotta wonder, like, is that intentional? Are they just leaning in, or are they going to be playing upon those conclusions?
Only one way to find out.
August is waiting for me at the car.
Find what you needed from the Batailles.
No, not at all. But I have a date with Julian at the diner.
You what?
You heard me.
That should be interesting. Are you attracted to him?
I can't quite say no, because I do find Julian physically attractive. August seems to know this and smiles. I'm going so I can learn more about him.
If you say so. In any case, while you were flirting with Julian, I got some very interesting information from the pastor. She seems utterly convinced that the name of her savior and the savior of us all is actually Lucius Marius Christ. I asked her about Jesus and she seemed confused. She said that some strange church across town switched from calling him Lucius to Jesus around the same time as the contingency. And would you believe it, she thinks they're connected. Now, if I go to this other church, I suspect they will...
Do you think any of this church nonsense relates to our missing persons? Do you think it has anything to do with the Bataille Repatriation Society?
Doubtful, but not impossible.
I can understand why that's the thing that's captured August's interest, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's absolutely what August would be interested in.
This was a waste of time. The Batailles are hiding something, and I'm not any closer to figuring out what.
Oh, but you have a hot date.
How do you look
least.
even more smarmy when you say that? Maybe Julian will let his guard down. Maybe I can get him to reveal something new.
Like his undergarments, perhaps?
You are just a walking sexual harassment suit, you know that?
I resist the urge to smack him across the face.
Who isn't these days?
Most people! Most people are not walking sexual harassment suits, August. It's weird that you think that's normal. For now, I'm taking you home.
I thought working with you would be much more exciting.
You're not off the hook yet. Plan to meet me at the precinct tomorrow morning. Hopefully by then I'll have an idea of what to try next. Did you just fade out of existence to... Alright.
Change the world, my final message.
At least she's a patron of the classics, right? Oh, man. You know what? I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait to see where this is going next. But I think this is the end of this episode, right?
Yeah,
that's
so.
the end of this one. Thank you for coming by, everyone. Since this was our patron pick, we're going to keep playing this until we're done. So we'll see you next time.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.